Hello again, farmers. I am Jim Bob. Welcome back to Massey Manor. We've almost finished seeding this field now. A little bit more work to do. Actually, it's taken a fair bit of time simply because it's such an awkwardly shaped field, and you know, it's very, very gradiented, as you can see. Very hilly. Lots of strange, weird angles. It means that we haven't been able to do this very quickly and cleanly and efficiently. We've had to keep chopping and changing directions, and so it's taken a fair while to get this field done, which is why I did most of it off camera. But we are almost done with this field now. Then we'll speed time up, get it through to morning, and we'll start seeding our next field, which will be with the 8700. Oops. Didn't lower the seeder. There we go. And drop that back down again. Just a couple more little patches now. Wheels are still spinning like crazy. And there we go, this field is done. Finally. So let's find our way out. We'll leave the gate open. And we'll give this a clean, put it away. And then we'll need to do some spraying. So actually, that'll be the first thing that we do actually in the morning, once time has been sped up. In fact, we may as well get that started right now. There we go. We'll spray the fields with fertilizer first before we reseed them. So that with the seeding will get them straight up to stage 2, and then we'll only have to go over them one more time. I don't remember. I don't think we bought a weeder. There we go. See how dark it's getting now. Look how dark it is in those shadows. It really, really does get really dark on this map. Let's see if we can squeeze this in next to the hopper. Is it too high? It's too high. Alright, let's try lowering it and putting it in. No, it's still too high. Alright. It'll have to go in just here then. There we go. And we'll put the weight with there as well. God, it's just black, look, everywhere. Can't see a thing outside of the beams of light. It's one of the more distinguishing features of this map is just how dark it gets when night falls. So let's just park up there for a second. Let's put the harvester away. Fold her up. Be in a little while before we use this again. And give it a quick clean. There's not a huge amount of dirt that's built up on here, it's mostly just on the wheels. That's enough. There's not much point giving the wheels full clean because they'll only be dirty again by the time I actually finish parking. So the harvester is away, lights off, and there you can see the wheels are still, picking up dirt already. Look. So let's go back around the corner. Get in our little mini Massey. Let's grab all our spraying gear. I actually want to check as well. Can we... Oh, look how much money we lost at the end of the night. Can we work a mission on Field 6? Because I would like to buy Field 6. No, we can't. Such a shame. Such a nuisance. Really wanted to be able to work a mission on that. Bring the cost down, earn some cash. Make it a more attractive option in the future. And we just can't do that. So we can slow time down again now. Not quite a full tank, but that's not a major issue. And unfold the sprayer. And don't forget, if you haven't already done so, you can update your Coon DLC now. The patch went live a little while ago, and if you're on Xbox, you should actually get just a straight option to update your patch, as far as I know. For PlayStation, like me, it's a little bit different. You don't get a notification to say there's a new version of the software available. It only does that for the games. It doesn't tend to do that for the DLCs. So what you'll need to do is to go down to your game menu on the main PlayStation screen, press down when you get to the game, and scroll down to the bottom option, which is your add-ons. Go to the PlayStation Store options, load up your add-ons, and then you'll get the little download triangle appear next to each item that you own of additional content, be it a free item or a paid-for DLC item. Anything that's available on the PlayStation Store that you have your installed already will show up in that list of your add-ons for you to then download. And all you need to do is just download the Coon DLC again, even if you already have it installed. Just download it again, install it again, and it'll overwrite your installed version with the updated patched version that is now available on the store. And that'll fix all the issues that there were with various different bits and bobs of equipment. The biggest one being the Coon Metris fold-out tow-behind sprayer. The care wheels have now been fixed, so they will work now with crop destruction and not chew your crops to shreds. And also the pricing as well. So the maintenance costs were incorrect at £2,000 a day. They are now at the much more realistic and accurate £200 a day. Other big bug fixes include the Axis fertilizer pellet spreader. That now actually fills. We actually get the proper filling animation. When you have the cover withdrawn, you'll actually see it loading with pellets now. That has been fixed. There are some other issues that were fixed as well, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but all the changes were detailed on the Giants forums. You can find them by searching on the forums for the thread. It's probably a sticky thread, so it should be near the top. Alternatively, if you're on Facebook, you can go to my Facebook page. You will see I did post a link about the Coon DLC being updated, with a link to the forum post which details the changelog with the patch notes, so you can see all the changes there. So as this episode goes out, it will probably be Friday the 5th of May, which means we are now just a few days away from Big Bud going live. Are you as excited for the DLC as I am? We're so close now. Really cannot wait to get my hands on those tractors, those seeders, even the cultivator, and I'm really looking forward to trying my hand out with that new plough as well. 10.5 meter long plough, 10.5 meter wide plough, as I should say. I think that's going to be incredibly useful on maps like American Outback. I'm also hoping that by the time this video goes live as well, we'll have some more information on the map that's being worked on by something in my shoe 2, his next map, Mustang Valley. I'm really hoping that by the time you see this, more details will be out there, and that it's finished and ready for release. I would imagine he was hoping to have it sort of ready to submit by the 7th of May, so I'm hoping that at the very least we'll have a map image by this point. Check my Facebook page. See if it's up there. I will be posting it as soon as I have that information, so it may be up there already. Obviously this is the third video of the night that I'm recording, so at time of recording it is not available yet, but by the time you see this it may well be. So do keep an eye on the Facebook page if you're interested in more details on Mustang Valley. As I do more recordings for different games or different farms, I will obviously bring those details to you guys as soon as I have them. But the best way to stay up to date with the mod news is on the Facebook page, because any mods of any note or any map news that I find out about, I do post on there straight away. Obviously when I talk about it on a video, it can be a couple of days to a week or two before that that goes live on the channel. Generally I like to record in batches of 3 or 4. Depends on the game, depends on the farm, the length of the videos. Sandy Bay I like to record in groups of 4 because they're only about half an hour each episode, so that's a couple hours worth of recording. We'll generate 4 episodes. With the farms like Fent Farm and Massey Manor, those episodes are around the 45 to 50 minute mark, sometimes a little bit longer as well. So they tend to be done in batches of 3. And American Outback, well, I've been recording those. I recorded the first 5 episodes back to back because it was brand new and I wanted to get them all done as quick as possible. And then I did 6, 7 and 8 as a batch together. And then they will probably get recorded in batches of 3 as well going forward. From Thursday the 11th of May, American Outback will go down to just a single video per release day. Up until that point, they've all been released as pairs. So on American Outback Day, it's been 2 episodes back to back every time. That's simply just because we lost so much available recording time waiting for that updated patched version of the map that changed the layout, that we lost a good 2 to 3 weeks worth of recording time and viewing time. So to try and catch back up again, I made the decision to do double releases up until the launch of the Big Bud DLC, to at least try and give us a nice big kickstart and make some progress on the farm, so that when Big Bud was available we would hopefully have enough funds to be able to go out and actually get it on the farm and on the map as quickly as possible. So touch wood, on the 11th, when episode 9 goes live, I will be obviously waiting until the DLC goes live before I record that episode. So touchwood on the 11th, episode 9, we will actually have some equipment from the DLC being added to the farm. I don't know what yet. I haven't recorded the episode. I don't know how much money we're going to have yet, so I honestly couldn't say as to what equipment's going to go live on that yet. You'll just have to wait and see. You know, I still don't know. But I'll be recording that on the day of release on Tuesday the 9th. And then probably uploading on Wednesday to release on the Thursday. It's one thing I'm trying to do as well, because my internet isn't the greatest and it can take a long time for a video to go live. You know, if I just launch it and push it straight to live when I upload it, it can take a long time depending on the length of the video. You know, traditionally a 45 to 50 minute episode, like one of the Massey Manor series, is around 2.2 gigs, and it takes around about 6 to 7 hours to upload. Sometimes longer, sometimes less, but usually around 6 to 7 hours to upload, which is a long time just for a single video. So what I like to try and do is upload when everyone's asleep and not using the net to speed things up a little bit, and also not to interfere with everyone else using the net as well. And then I like to upload before it's due to go live, so that if there are any issues and I need to cancel and restart, then I've got time to do that, and it means that I have those episodes available to try and keep that release schedule going as planned, rather than trying to upload, failing and missing the scheduled day and throwing a schedule completely out of whack because I couldn't get a video live on time. Right, so that's the first of our 3 fields done, or 4 fields actually. We've got 4 to do, haven't we? Let's do this one next. Alright, so off we go on field 8. I'm really not sure what to plant this time around, actually. I'm thinking, again, probably canola and soybeans, same as last time. Problem is, it's... the prices are going to take a little bit of time to rebound. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do a full round of soybeans. I know it's the same crops and there's not much variation, and we tend to start every farm with soybeans and canola, but they are the money crops. Unfortunately, it kind of limits us. We don't have the equipment to do a big batch of sunflowers. And even buying the equipment would be horrifically expensive. It's money we just can't justify yet. Plus we would need to have a cultivator as well, so that we could clean the fields after every planting, or after every harvest, ready for the next set of planting. It just adds an extra stage in, and we just can't do that at the moment. So I think what we'll do is, for the time being, we will only plant corn or sunflowers on a field that's just been ploughed. to get around the need to cultivate once it's been harvested. I've been playing quite a bit of NBA 2K16 in my spare time when I haven't been farming or recording. I kind of got back into it a few weeks back, having not played the game for months, and really close to the playoffs now in my second full season. I really enjoyed 2K15 on the PS3. I got it as a free game on PS Plus. It was the first basketball game I played in a long time, actually, since the 90s, and I really enjoyed it. So I ended up buying a second-hand copy as one of the first games for my PS4, and played it on that. And then 2K16 was given to us last year as a PS Plus game on PS4. So I played a lot of 2K16, and then just kind of stopped playing it a bit. And now, I just kind of picked it up. And I just thought, hey, I fancy playing a game of basketball I haven't played for a while. So I picked it up, played it, and kind of got back into it again. And I'm marching on towards the playoffs. I've got a really strong winning streak going at the moment. I'm won the last 20 games that I've played. I've got the best record in the league, not just the conference, but the league. I'm running with the Orlando Magic. It's my first season with the Magic. I had the option of who to sign for at the end of my first season. I'm trying to remember who I started my career with, actually, now. I honestly can't remember. But I only played one season for them because they only gave me a one-year contract. And at the end of the season, I looked around at the offers that I was being presented with, and I ended up signing for the Magic simply because they offered me a fantastic contract. For a young rookie player who wasn't exactly great in terms of overall numbers and stat numbers, and I was offered a 4-year contract, 22 point something million dollars per season for 4 seasons, making me one of the highest paid players in the league, behind like LeBron and Harden, Harden and some of the other top players. Only a small handful of players in the league earn the same sort of money that I do, or more. And more importantly, they were offering me 40 minutes a game, which was huge because the more minutes you play, the quicker you improve, and the quicker your character can unlock new skills and stats, and advance in terms of playing ability. So the first few games of the season were a little bit rough, and after about 10-15 games, I started to really start to pick up as a player and improve as my stats increased, and I started learning new skills and unlocking new badges. I'm now posting a triple-double in almost every single game I play. I'm averaging about 50 points a game, around 15 to 20 rebounds a game, and around 10 to 12 assists per game as well. I'm also averaging, in more recent, the last month of games or so, that I've been averaging around 4 blocks a game, a couple of steals a game as well. So I've been posting up triple doubles in almost every single game I've played over the last couple of months of the calendar. So really enjoying it. I'm down to like the last 10 games or so of the regular season before the playoffs begin. So I may post a little bit of NBA footage coming up. It takes me a long time to play through those games because I play the full 48 minutes. I play full-length games, so it takes me a long time to grind through a season because you've got 82 games in a season. Then you've got the playoffs, and each playoff leg is potentially 7 games. And then you've got the finals, which is 7 games, or best of 7 games, so potentially 7 games, for that series as well. It's a long, slow process, but I have fun with it. I enjoy it. I play a few games, in a row, and then leave it for a couple of days, and then go back and play another 2 or 3 games. And it's a fun game. I'm improving my dunking ability at the moment. Starting to pull off some quite funky dunks. Some like uber athletic tomahawks and 360 spins and reverse cradles and all sorts of exciting to watch dunks, and quite aggressive, powerful dunks as well. It's interesting how my game has changed actually, because when I used to play 2K15, especially on the PS3, I was all about the 3-point shot. I was a 2 guard or a shooting guard, and I would just sit at the edge of the arc and just knock down threes left, right, and centre. And when I switched to the PS4, I started to play as a small forward, and I ended up, when I created my character for 2K16, I actually went as an out-and-out small forward, because I'd grown to really enjoy that, that position, the ability to sort of shoot from most places on the court, and also to really cut in and drive to the bucket, go for the dunks and the layups. I found it a much more fun position to play, much more versatile. Because another thing I always found when I used to play as a shooting guard was that I was always, when it came to defending, always guarding on the perimeter, never guarding anyone on the inside. And I still end up guarding on the outside a lot as a small forward, but I do get to guard inside a lot more. I follow guys as they cut to the hoop, and it's enabled me to get into positions to effect blocks and grab a lot of defensive rebounds. So it brings more to the game than just spending each defensive possession hanging around on the edge of the arc watching one player who's never going to get the ball. It gets me more involved with the defensive side as well. And I've often found a great way to pick up easy assists is if you grab a rebound and launch a counter-offensive, launch a fast break. If I'm the guy who starts the fast break, I can usually get a pass away to someone who's going to finish it and give me an assist. Whereas when I was a 2 guard, I would just start sprinting up the court, call for the ball, and then try and shoot or post a layup or even go for a dunk to try and finish the fast break. Now I'm the one that's creating the fast break more often than not. So it brings a bit more variety to the game, in terms of my game, which is good. It's a lot more fun. Plus there's an immense satisfaction to just furiously dunking on your opponent, constantly throughout a game, especially when you're playing away from home and you just slam these monster dunks on your opponent. I do need to figure out how to do the alley-oops though. I still haven't managed to get an alley-oop done yet. There are certain things that I'm good at and certain things I'm not very good at. I don't seem to have the ability to do 3-point shooting very consistently with my small forward, which is a bit of a frustration to me, because I used to, as I say, on 2K15 I would knock 3 balls down blindfolded. where it's a different style of play, it's a different type of player, so less focused on 3-point abilities. It's also harder to level up your character as well. It was much easier to do that in 15 with the upgrade system that they had, where you just had to raise some VC, and then you could just use it to buy new skill blocks and new abilities. Now you have to unlock attributes to match play, and then as you reach a certain point, you kind of plateau, and the only way you can get additional attribute upgrades is through lots and lots of training sessions in your off time. And badges now, you don't get to buy badges. You earn badges by performing actions on a regular basis in game. So for example, one particular badge might require you to score a very high percentage, or a very high percentage of your shots as your shooting percentage over a consecutive number of games before you would unlock that badge at bronze level, and then you can use your VC to upgrade it to silver and gold levels to improve your bonus with that allocation. It's fun. I enjoy it. It's nice to have games that you can just put down for ages, not play for ages, and then just come back to months later and just pick up, and it's just within a few minutes you're back at where you left off. Your muscle memory kicks in, and you're straight back to the level that you were playing at before. Mine is a decent level. I'm not a great player. I would get absolutely butchered if I if I tried to play online with other people, because I don't play the game often enough. And any kind of competitive game, like FIFA or NBA or I'm guessing Madden. Again, never really played Madden games. American football has just never really interested me, either as a sport or as a video game. But if you don't play those games on a regular basis, if you don't live those games, and it's the same with first-person shooters. If you don't tend to live those games, you just get destroyed more often than not whenever you do go online by the people who do live on those games. I wouldn't even dream of, for example, picking up a copy of the latest Street Fighter game and going and playing that online, because I would just get absolutely mullered every single match. It's just one of those types of games where to be competitive, you have to be a hardcore player when you go online, and I just don't have the interest for that anymore. I'm at a point in my life where I like to play video games to chill out and relax and have fun, and not get ultra competitive. I've been there, I've done that, and it causes a lot of stress, and it's just not worth it in the long run for me. Not at this stage of my life anymore. I can do without the stress and the hassle and the frustration and the raging, and I become quite an ugly person when I start raging, and it's not nice for other people to listen to, and for me to experience myself. It's just not a fun situation to find yourself in when you get ridiculously frustrated and you start raging while you're playing. It's it spoils the mood. It leaves you in a really, really crappy mood, and yeah, it's not what video games should be for me. Video games should be about fun, and I just don't have that killer instinct anymore when it comes to competitive gaming. And it kind of worries me with some games, because there are some franchises that I love that it worries me that it's going to have a negative effect on my enjoyment of those games going forward. I'm a massive fan of the Grand Theft Auto games, but I've really kind of shied away from Grand Theft Auto over the last year or so, at least GTA Online, because every time they've released new additional content, it's always been for GTA Online and not the game. And so there's been no single player campaign story expansion of any kind in the 3.5 years that the game has been out, which I think is, hugely disappointing. But it is what it is. They've just focused solely on GTA Online because they get microtransactions with the shark cards. So they just keep releasing expensive stuff. Oh, my pad has died. There we go. Switch pads. I don't know if you just saw the please reconnect wireless controller logo flash up on the screen there, but it did. Just driving on autopilot because cruise control switched on, but I had no control at all because the controller was dead. So I had to quickly lean over, grab another pad and switch that one on. I keep my charging dock right next to me when I play. And there we go, just plug the other controller in. Yeah, it's a really nice little charging dock. It's I plug it in. It plugs into the bottom port on the DualShocks rather than the top port for the cable. And it plugs in at the bottom. It's a better connection. It doesn't damage the connection in the same way that repeatedly putting a cable in and out of the DualShock at the top of the pad will loosen that connection to the point where it stops gripping the cable properly. And the charging dock I have holds 2 controllers and will auto switch off as soon as a controller is fully charged. So I just plug it in and plug the controller in, just slot it in really nice and simply, and then just leave it, and within however long it takes, which isn't very long, an hour to 2 hours, and DualShock is fully charged, and then it switches off so it doesn't overcharge, and it's good to go. It's ready for next time. And then when one pad gets low, I can literally just lean over, grab the next pad, switch it on, swap the control over to that pad, put the other pad in the charging dock, and done and dusted. But I've kind of lost my train of thought now. Yes, so I'm a huge fan of Grand Theft Auto, but I've shied away from GTA Online because unfortunately Rockstar likes to encourage people to be dicks to each other in that game, just given the kind of nature of the game. So every new piece of content that's come out in the history of GTA 5 has always been GTA Online content, and more often than not, the more recent content has forced you to be in a open public session to be able to do any of it. You can't do it in private or closed sessions with friends. So it just leaves you open permanently to being attacked by gits and arseholes, basically, while you're trying to experience the new content. And there are people who just live in games like that to just troll other people and try and make their life a misery. Rockstar has actively not just created but encouraged that kind of atmosphere with the Grand Theft Auto series over the last couple of years, and it worries me about the future of Red Dead Redemption, because I loved Red Dead Redemption, absolutely loved it. I thought it was a fantastic game. Even the online experience, although a little bit limited in places, was a lot of fun. But there were elements of the GTA mentality that seeped through, and you did get a selection of players that played the GTA way. So literally came online to do nothing other than troll you and chase you around the map, just to annoy you, not to try and play any objectives, not to try and work with you on missions or or anything like that. They literally just went out there just to try and kill you and harass you and drive you off the map, and call it a moral victory because you run away and got fed up of being harassed. And it worries me that because they've really egged people on to play this way over the last few years with the GTA games, that given how successful financially GTA Online has been for them, with the amount of money they've made with shark cards, and the fact that it's been so wildly popular because they've continually pumped out new content, that they completely ignored the base game, it really worries me that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to suffer because of that. It makes me worry that they're going to focus more on building a Red Dead Online component and then just fully support that, put less time and effort into the story than the game deserves, because it deserves to have a lot of time put into it. The original Red Dead Redemption on PS3 was a fantastic campaign and was supported with plenty of DLC for the single player experience as well. And I just worry that the game is going to get overlooked a little bit in places because they're going to be focusing on creating a Red Dead Online. And it also worries me that they're not going to support the game with future expansions, because they're just going to support Red Dead Online with additional content. I really hope I'm wrong with that. I really hope that Rockstar stick to what they did with the original Red Dead Redemption and create a fantastic single player experience, and then add a good multiplayer component, and then they support both once the game is out. I really hope that's what they do, rather than just pumping out a single player story, creating an elaborate online world, and then focusing purely on that and ignoring the rest of, because I think if you ask the majority of gamers, they would prefer that Red Dead Online was maybe given a lot less emphasis, and that the storyline was what was focused on, and the single player experience, because it was so good in Red Dead Redemption. To see that potentially getting tarnished with a crappy single player experience of Red Dead 2 that's there purely just to supplement the online component, I kind of worry that is perhaps where that game is headed. Disconnected the front tank again by mistake. There we go. How are we doing for time? Oh, we are almost out of time. I hadn't realised just how quickly this episode had gone by. So, well, yeah, we're almost at that point where it's time to wrap things up. We might get this field finished. I'm not entirely sure. We may end up just getting a bit of it done, and then having the rest done next time you come back. So yeah, this video should be live Friday the 5th, which means when you come back to Massey Manor, the next time will be Tuesday the 9th. It'll be DLC day. You're probably not going to see much of the DLC on this map. By the time we I mean, well, this is episode 12, so between this and episode 13, it'll be a week or two before I come back on this now to record the next episode. But we have no money on this farm at the moment. It's going to be a long time before we have money. So even if we had, even if I waited and recorded the episode on the day of the DLC going live and then immediately published, there's no money to buy any of the equipment anyway, and it's a hard playlist, so I couldn't even mod the money in, even if I wanted to, which I don't. So it's going to be a long time before we see even so much as a cultivator from the DLC on this map. A long time. Just because it's going to be very pricey equipment, because it's all big equipment, and we cannot afford even small equipment really at the moment. So don't expect to see any of the DLC stuff coming to Massey Manor in the near future. If anything does come, it's going to be a way off yet. Don't expect to see any of the DLC on Fent Farm either, because that is obviously a very small map. There's no need for any of that super large equipment. You can definitely expect to see it on American Outback. That map is a perfect showcase for the Big Bud DLC pack. It really is. So you can definitely expect to see it being added, that equipment being added into my American Outback playlist. I mean, it's the main reason I started that farm, was to be able to bring Big Bud into the farm when it came out. And you may see one or two pieces of the equipment pop up on Sandy Bay, because there are some big fields on Sandy Bay. But don't expect to see a huge amount of it. You might see little bits here and little bits there, but that'll be all. So with that said, I am going to end the episode now, so thank you all for watching. Please do remember to like, share and subscribe. Those thumbs up really do help. It lets me know that you've enjoyed the video. Gives me motivation to keep on making these videos for you guys. Subscribe will obviously give you notifications as to when the videos go live. And if you are enjoying the content, please do share them with your friends. Spread the word, and let's help build the channel up a little bit. Try and build a bigger audience, which will enable me to actually invest in the channel and bring even more stuff to you, and at a better quality as well. And don't forget, you can also reach me on Facebook as well, at Jim Bob Plays Games on Facebook. You can message me there directly. You can keep an eye on mod news and game news and upcoming content for the channel, as well as a few other random bits of discussion as well. And I look forward to seeing you back on the farm, or even one of my other playlists very soon.